This is one word, two syllables. Ridiculous, right?
Welcome back. This is the Unfiltered Truth. I'm your host, Phil Robinson. With me, riding shotgun as always, the incomparable, the immortal, Phil Jones. Phil, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Good. Today we got a little something different for you guys. We're gonna take a look at what's going on from behind enemy lines. We have a special guest. We have KLKC, host of the ship with Darren Smith. We have Mr. Darren Smith. Welcome to the program, sir.
Hey, gentlemen, thank you so very much for having me today.
Hey, how you doing today? Good.
Doing well, thank you.
All right. Like we had spoken backstage, we get this out of the way. Terrible thing that happened yesterday. I don't know what this world is coming to. It's incredible the things that happen, especially involving firearms. And were you familiar with the young lady that lost her life?
No, I didn't know her. I know she was a radio host at one of our stations here in the city, but no, I'm not. I wasn't personally familiar with her. No.
Okay, cool. Said that. Move on. Get that out. The Super Bowl, Radio Row Week. How was that? I was out there in not Las Vegas, in Phoenix last year.
Mhm.
And it was a blast for me. It was my first time getting out there and covering that sort of thing, and so I missed it this year. But what happened? How'd that play out for you?
Oh, it was well. I mean, I ended my day early Friday. I was a little under the weather Friday, so I had to rest up because we had the game on Sunday. But overall, I mean, it was it was work really, just sun up to sundown every morning. I was up around 3:30 in the morning and got to my area around 6:30 in the morning and stayed there till about 6 each evening. Except for when I had to go over to the commissioner stuff and open at night stuff. But other than that, I was there about 6 o'clock each day.
Nice.
A lot of guests, a lot of good time was had by all. Felt like I had a lot of good guests and a lot of good things happened throughout the week. So it was fun. I mean, but this is my 7th year in doing Radio Row, so I've gotten the gist and the hang of it. So I don't get as excited, but that might just because I've just gotten a little bit older, I guess. So as I get older each year, what I'm saying? Not that the excitement wanes, but trying to run around and try to grab guests and stuff, I'm cool. They want to sit and talk with me, they come to me and I schedule them. So it's like that now.
Hey,
I've earned the fact that now I can, they just come to me ahead of time without me having to run and chase people down. So that's pretty cool.
No, one day I hope to get there because I do remember what it was like running around with your head cut off, trying to remember who was all these people that I've seen on TV
Yeah.
with their name underneath it, and in person, it's like I know he's somebody, but I'm just brain farting right now.
Yeah, the craziest thing, and I tell people the craziest thing for me is trying not to overbook people because that's what ends up happening. You double book because you don't you try to have a schedule before you get there, but you don't try to book everybody ahead of time because what ends up happening is you'll see and meet new people along the way, and you'll see somebody that you want to try to get, and then they try to figure out when you have times and stuff, and their times don't match your time, so you see if you can push somebody, or the time when you have somebody, they're running late, so they want to be pushing to somebody else's time. So yeah, it's I remember those days. I remember a lot of days I've double booked people, It's pretty interesting to say the least.
No, it happens. Yeah, it really does
Yeah.
just that way because we were when I went, we were up against it. We were sharing a table, so I not only was I trying to book for myself, then I had to work around somebody else's schedule that I'm trying to get to come on, and then try to clear some free time. I had Greg Papa on there, and God bless him. I had one of my producers rushing me off the air, and he tolerated me running about 15 minutes longer than I said I would. So he's a gentleman and a scholar because I wasn't ending that early.
Nah, you can't do that. Nah. If you got a good guess, you just got to let it ride.
Yeah, yeah. So who was your best guest?
Ugh, my best guess. It's funny because I haven't even had a chance to post all my interviews from Radio Row. But I would say my best guess was, I'd say, Kirk Franklin, maybe. Yeah, probably.
Hmm.
Well, Kirk Franklin was one of them. Boosie was pretty cool, and I think the one that my best one probably actually didn't take place on Radio Row, but was with the Charleston White Saturday night. So that was probably my best one. I know that we did about 50 minutes on that one, so that was pretty cool.
So
That's
what
not
was Kirk
bad.
like? I'm just now I'm
Yeah,
genuinely
now I'm curious of
curious.
Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
So what was Kirk Franklin like? You brought that up. Now I'm genuinely curious.
Oh, I mean, they offered them to me a couple of days earlier, and I was like, it's like it's Kirk Franklin, of course, what I'm saying. But at the time, they were wanting me. It was more so pushing the Kirk Franklin was performing as a talent with on the NFL Soulful Celebrations 25th year anniversary, and I was supposed to do Mary Mary along with John Thick, no Robin Thicke, but
Mhm.
schedules just didn't align like it was supposed to. And
Okay.
but Kirk came and he's interesting. I've had a chance to talk to him before, but this was years ago when I was in college. Uh, but this first time I've talked to him, or and like when I say decades, I mean decades. And so just getting a chance, and this is coming out. And mind you, he just did Shannon Sharp stuff
Right.
last month. So haven't watched that video even before Radio Road, not even know he was going to be there. Was interesting. And so just having certain conversations and asking him about stuff dealing with the church and let's say someone like TD Jakes, how does he keep people to have the faith or whatever. So yeah, just like the conversations like that, and his thoughts on how he separates music and being a gospel artist and living in the secular world and stuff like that. So pretty good conversation we have for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I bet that actually sounds very interesting. I look forward to hearing that. Can we expect any new music from Kirk?
Well, I mean, Taylor sounds like he's always writing something. I mean, he did the album for what was it, Kingdom Business? That's on BET Plus. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he's always got new music.
Okay, okay. Now, one of the reasons why I reached out to you primarily was for the question that you asked Roger Goodell, and for that particular conversation, and for strictly because I like to watch that man squirm when he's finally pressed and put in a position where he can't give his automated patented response.
Well, I mean, he's a lawyer by nature, I think. So I think he was gonna have a lawyerly answer. But what's your question as it relates to it?
I was so what is the question that I have for that? Um, it's kind of one of those all-encompassing kind of things. So allow me to just kind of condense it and bring it into a single question.
Mhm.
Um, what made you bring that up?
Well, I've asked Goodell a question before at a prior or at a previous press conference. I think this might have been when it was in Tampa Bay and during the COVID year, and I asked about um, coaches getting a head coaching gig dealing. It was basically at the time with Eric Bieniemy, how the timing of it just wasn't fair to someone like him, and whether or not at that time they would think about pushing interviews and stuff back or hiring the hiring process back, which they actually did after 2 years. They had voted on it and passed it, so I felt like I was an instrument on that. But a former colleague of mine, Jim Trotter of the NFL Network, had asked Goodell a question about black representation in the NFL media newsroom or news group, and so stuff like that matters to me, to where you know diversity and that type of stuff and representation and the media field is important to me, especially when you're in a locker room and you're interviewing or you're talking to teams that have more than 50-60% of their players who look like you, but it's not a lot of people that are representing them in the media that can tell their story or is transcribing their story. And so even though the commissioner did not really answer his question over the last 2 years, he ended up losing his job with the NFL Network. They'll call it budget cuts, whatever, but if you know how stuff works, they can,
Right.
if they want you gone, they'll figure out a way to have you gone. And so, I just felt it was, I had a couple of questions, one dealing with gambling, but someone else had asked that question. And so that type of question, that question I asked was really my only question that I had, but somebody before me or early on had talked about the streaming and the Peacock stuff, and it just dawned on me like how much money they made, and I'm like, how much money is too much money for the NFL? Like, when is enough? Because yes, the game was shown over there television here in Kansas City because the Chiefs played in it, but everyone else had to pay, outside of Miami, had to pay, $5.99 to watch the game. It's like, it's not supposed to be like that. And so that was my first question, which I used and used the other question as a follow up. But the first one was kind of like to serve them up, like, oh, okay, yeah, I can easily, answer this guy's question because he asked me about streaming, which I just talked about. But then when I hit him with the second question, I knew he wasn't prepared for it or expecting it or ready for it. So that was the reason why. That was one of the reasons why. Well, that was the main reason why I wanted to ask it in a minute, which I did, because it would catch him off guard and wouldn't give him time to really think about an answer, whatever. Because when I asked about it, I already had the numbers, I already had the details, because I already did my research and made calls before the press conference, so I already knew the answers. I just want to see whether or not his answers were going to match mine. And then I knew that they weren't, and so I expected what everybody in the country heard that day. So. Yeah, so it wasn't really a gotcha type thing. I really did, that's a real question to ask and to address to see if anything had changed, and if not, why. And the fact that he couldn't answer it or, two-stepped around it or beat around the bush, it was telling, to say the least.
No, absolutely it is, and we know that struggle and what that struggle is like, trying to bridge that gap. And my qualifications aren't necessarily the same as most other folks, but I've been able to do it. But it has not been easy. I enjoy this reporting thing for the duration that I do it, and then would like to do more, but it's just hard to get into.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's hard to break through. I'll give you that. It's definitely not easy.
No. Let's switch gears to something a little bit more. Oh, did you have something, Phil? Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I do have something because we're talking about representation and we're also talking about race within the NFL and all. Steve Wilkes. This just happened recently. Yeah. He got relieved of duties. This man had a top defense this year. His defense did their job the majority of the game. And now all of a sudden he's getting the pink slip. Come on. It's this. If we really look at it, Wilkes has been done dirty going back from that to Carolina to Arizona.
Yeah.
Shit, even Cleveland. So we talk about, we're trying to give all these coaches, black coaches, opportunities and all, but you're doing one man dirty as hell. And hopefully it comes down to a point. Do you file like grievance against the league? Do you file?
Well, he's already in the middle of a lawsuit against the NFL along with Brian Flores. So with the discrimination, so he's already in the middle of a lawsuit with the NFL.
His case is just building up. I can see because
that's the hope, and that is the hope. I mean, look, as it relates to his firing, I think he's used more as a scapegoat than anything else. I mean, you know, the coordinators who lost to the Chiefs in last year's Super Bowl both got head coaching jobs. So that you know, so make of that what you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't call it. I mean, you know, it's gonna be more eyes on Kyle Shanahan this season. And, you know, if I'm Steve Wilkes, I'm just doing the whole, you know, whatever you done to me, I done already did to you, and you'll never see another Super Bowl win anytime soon until you do right by me. So that's how I see it right about now.
And they got a lot of hexes being put on them from a lot of folks of color, especially given what they've been doing lately. But
exactly,
we're gonna turn on them. That's not my favorite team. I can't stand them, and I wish everything bad on them. But we will get into a couple things Raider related. You happen to be able to offer us a unique perspective. So I'll ask you this quick. I'll say a name and you tell me what you think. Antonio Pierce.
Great hire. Just like I've told Mark Davis when I told him that last Monday at opening night. I'm glad as a guy that covers the Chiefs and enjoys football and want to see black coaches get hired, that I'm glad that they you know, brought him, you know, made him the head coach and didn't really jack around with it. So I think they have a great head coach, and I think you know, give him the requisite time and talent, and I think he can, you know, he'll be able to do great things. Maybe not win the division anytime soon, but you know, but at least do well.
Thank you for that dig. I appreciate that. I wouldn't expect anything less.
No, of course not.
But so you guys re-signed Spags. How long is Spags' new contract?
Oh, I'm not sure. They didn't release those details. Just know that he'll be in Kansas City unless he gets another head coaching gig sometimes, hopefully soon.
Let me get your thoughts on Chris Jones and this contract situation.
Doesn't really have a situation. He's a free agent. It's a matter of whether or not he and the team can come to an agreement when the time comes, when the clock starts. But he said he wants to be in Kansas City. I know the Chiefs want him. He wants to be there. He's got to, you know, have a number that both parties can be satisfied with.
Mm.
Though I do expect, you know, other teams to make him, you know, maybe try to overpay him just to get him away from Kansas City. So, and if that's the case and he went for the money, I'm not going to be mad at him.
No, because he's looking at a lot of it. They said his value was at $28.5 million a year.
Yeah.
Highest paid D tackle in the league.
Yeah, it's worth it for him. You know, if he can.
Yeah. I mean, this showed. I mean, when he came right back, you know, from doing this little holdout, finished what, with 10.5 sacks? I mean, that's pretty damn good.
It's okay. I mean, he's had 15.5 before, so I mean,
I'm saying, like, just coming off from, like, you know, missing the game or two and all. I mean, he just went right into it.
He missed one game. He missed one game, and that was his own doing, and he regretted that, and that's why, That's why he hurried up and they did the deal that they did, for this 1 year. So
I get it.
You also have L'Jarius Sneed, and is he entering free agency?
yes, he's also entering free agency. Now, I don't know which player that they'll tag, but I expect him back as well. I mean, there wasn't a better cornerback duo between he and Trent McDuffie, and it would be asinine for those two to be separated right now.
Yeah, I agree. When they're playing the way that you're playing and the defense is humming, you don't break it up. Yeah, you definitely don't do that. We could talk. We don't really want to talk about the Magic Man. We know what the Magic Man does. He's 100% in gotta have it situations. Nobody else has broke 50, but he's 100%. How does he continue to do that?
Who are we talking about?
Talking about Patrick Mahomes, the Magic Man.
I mean, he's surrounded by great talent, man. And he's a great player. I mean, it's easy to say that, but you see it every day. I mean, that's just what it is. It's hard to really put into words because what you see is what you get.
Yeah. Got a good point there.
No, more or less that's what Jack Jones said. You get to the magician, you stop the act.
Right.
But this rivalry, the Raiders have started making it more and more interesting. I felt like while they're not where they need to be in terms of going head-to-head matchups, they've closed the gap against the Chiefs significantly.
I'm not gonna go that far. I think I think the Chiefs are still. I think the Chiefs are still light years ahead of where the Raiders are currently, but they did do the first correct thing in some time, and that was hire Antonio Pierce as the head coach. So for that, that gets him a little bit of kudos in my book.
Little bit of kudos. I can respect that. I wasn't looking for attaboys and cheerleading coming from the other side.
Oh, good, because you weren't gonna get it. I grabbed you there. Yeah, you weren't getting that.
So break down this Raiders roster from the perspective of the Chiefs. We can talk about this defense because this defense obviously was the strength.
If I'm breaking down the Raiders offense, to me it starts. Well, it's going to have to start with whoever you all decide to have as at quarterback, because Aiden O'Donnell or whatever, or that can't be your franchise quarterback going further. If so, hey, I'm all for it. You've got to sign Josh Jacobs to a long-term deal. Now defensively, you all got Max Crosby, and I do like. I ain't gonna lie, I was really trying to figure out a way for the Chiefs to acquire Devontae Adams, but it doesn't look like he's gonna. It doesn't look like Al Davis is gonna get rid of him anytime soon. I was really hoping they were gonna get tired of him, find a way to get him.
No, you got a better shot at Josh Jacobs than Devontae. He's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
But bad as you guys needed receivers, I would hope for that too, because your receiving core was the worst I think I've ever seen, and I've seen some pretty bad ones.
And they still got Super Bowl rings.
And they still got a ring. That's crazy.
So that says a lot about them and a lot about you all. Got the best receiver in the game, and y'all still ringless since 1983, right?
Hey, when you don't draft a quarterback and put your faith in Derek Carr, that's what you get.
Hey man, I don't know. But who else you all got? Trying to think some other. I know you all got a couple other good wide receivers and a tight end. Yeah, McDonald. That's funny. Yeah, but Max Crosby, he's a real deal, man. I like him, but it's funny because he was hurt And then all of a sudden, when it was time to play the Chiefs, he magically got healed. Like, so that's what playing the Chiefs would do to teams. It'll heal folk up right away. But I mean, I really don't have nothing to add, on what you all have right now. I usually like to see what teams do in the off season as it relates to building up via free agency along with the draft to see. For me, the off season is what I like because I like to see, chess pieces moved across the board on how teams plan on trying to get better when it comes to, i.e., beating the Chiefs or at least trying to win their division, and then the next step in, how to advance in the playoffs. Yeah, Raider Q's right. It doesn't last forever, but it's gonna last longer than the Raiders drought. How much I do know. So, yeah, man, I was trying to be cool, man, but these people are just giving me, they're just giving me material left and right in the chat.
Hey, it's a Raider podcast. I knew it was coming at some point. I had a couple of my Charger buddies in here, and it turned out to be something ugly.
Nothing to do with the Chargers, man. So. but I will say this now. I don't know who you all's defensive coordinator is, but
actually, Grant.
Okay, because I know Vernon Jackson said that adding Steve Wilkes to the staff wouldn't be a bad idea, which I don't think it would be a bad idea either. So.
No, and that defensive coaching staff, they've been working very hard on stacking to put together the best group of guys that they can find, and it's pretty good. We'll see what happens next year. Obviously, we got the champ over here talking from the champion's chair, so I don't expect too many attaboys, but we're gonna see what's gonna happen. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. But I realize that you are up against it. I thank you for your time, Darren. Appreciate you.
Look, first of all, thank you for the invite once again. And when the season starts or whatever, man, make sure you have me back on. We can do this again.
Yo, for
Real
sure.
quick before you go, let me ask you, what's the likelihood Eric Bieniemy ends up joining back with the Kansas City Chiefs?
Hopefully high, because that's what I would like to see happen. So
I know that he was with them. They brought him in to talk to talk to the team during the playoffs.
Yeah, before the AFC Championship game, they did, and it paid dividends. The players, they realized how much they missed him, which I knew because I talked to the players. I knew his presence was missed, and the fact that they played well and played inspired football against the Ravens.
Yeah.
They had other reasons too. Trip to get the Super Bowl and stuff like that, but it didn't hurt. So, but he's someone that they know, and people who know that a lot of the problems that they would have had that they had this season would not have happened had he been there. So we'll see. Hopefully Andy Reid brings him back or finds or creates a position for him to come. So
that's what I thought, because I noticed that too.
Definitely a difference maker.
Yeah, the difference with what it looked like without him there. And the one thing that's kind of got us all messed up is we never, on this particular side, we never hear a accurate story of what's going on. One is that players hate him. He don't interview well. It's always some garbled up, made up excuse as to why he can't have the top job. But when the moment he leaves Kansas City, the difference is as plain as day.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, so yeah, I got nothing to add on that.
All right, brother. Thank you. We will definitely have you back on during Chiefs weeks.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Robinson and Mr. Jones. It's a pleasure talking football with you all.
Right on.
Right now. You take care now.
KLKC, the ship with Darren Smith. That is the gentleman who just joined us. Now we can switch gears and talk about the Raiders.
Oh, I don't know. What do you want me to dive into? That I had to do a fucking whole history lesson on Luke Getsy?
Said that we had to do a whole history lesson on Luke Getsy?
Sir, no. You didn't take the TARDIS with fucking Doctor Who and go back in fucking time with this motherfucker. All right? You ain't do that shit all the way until 4 in the damn morning.
I woke up at 5. and started at 5. And
Sir,
went all day long.
I went all night long, all night. And I started back from Indiana University of Pennsylvania, bro.
Indiana University of Pennsylvania. That is a mouthful.
Division 2.
That sounds like 3.5, maybe even D4. Indiana University of Pennsylvania. They got a town called Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they do.
That's why they're all coal miners up there. Their brains ain't working.
Hey, let me tell you. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this shit. That offense was fucking working up there. I'll tell you that shit.
It's D2. If you got any type of strategy,
It don't have nothing to do with the. Here's the thing. It has nothing to do with it being D2. He had a quarterback that could run and had a quarterback that had an arm and that was accurate. He had a good, solid running game, and his linemen could block. Are we trading for Jaden Daniels?
I'm pretty sure that the description that you just get, now we've all heard, you and I, that you fit a description. Now this is probably about the only time where somebody will say that he fits a description, and we not gonna say it's finna be a bad night for that brother.
Let's see. He can run. He can throw
accurately.
Yes, that is one key thing in this offense is accurately. He can throw accurately, and he can throw it deep.
Real deep.
Just go deep. Just deep.
Got a solid running game. Could potentially be looking finally at a two-headed monster.
And we bringing in a former face for O-line and former LSU offensive line coach.
So he would be familiar with the blocking scheme, or at least the calls and the adjustments.
In a way,
The calls and the adjustments. I'm sure that those aren't going to change very much. Said he protects the ball. Team Aiden Old McDonald will run a 4-3 by preseason. Shoot. Bo Nix or bust?
I guess bust.
Next up, I can't see AP doing anything other than going all in on QB. His career gonna lay on it. I can't see Aiden being that dude. Well, you can join the vast majority. I have yet to hear somebody. No, let me walk that back. I have heard people say that, but they're not reputable. So anybody who's telling you that is probably not reputable.
Got that right.
Now,
let's go back to Luke Getsy's story time.
Luke Getsy's story time.
So basically, and everybody wants to go on and jump and say, but he sucked in Chicago.
Did he?
Did you see his quarterback? His quarterback was not accurate, but surprisingly, his quarterback still progressed better than what he did the last 2 years. The running game was still key. Now, everybody jumps and says, oh, well, that was more of Justin Fields, but he still managed to have multiple running backs get things going. And his quarterback could run.
3 ball carriers with 100+ carries.
And then you go back and look at what went on Mississippi State. Your running backs could run the ball. Your quarterback could run. He could throw and he could score. But in my opinion, he just didn't have that deep ball. But when you go back to Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and see more of that offense. He comes from that Kirk Signetti offense. And I know a lot of people thought it was from what's it, Akron, Ohio University, where his old coach, what was it, Aaron, was it Aaron Moorhead, or no, Aaron Morstead, excuse me, that his offense basically he replicates his offense around that. No, he mixes his stuff up. He's more what John Gruden did when he was coming back in a way. He'll mix the offense up where it'll be a balance of West Coast, it'll be a balance of air raid. The blocking scheme is going to be a little bit of a mixture too. We will see some zone blocking. I mean, but again, nowadays you see that in a lot of teams' offensive blocking. You'll see man blocking as well. You will see some gap blocking. They're going to mix it up. What works the best for the players? That's the whole key, and that's the goal that they're going to be rocking with. This route tree, to be honest, this shit ain't nothing for our receivers. If you were able to have success under Gruden's route tree, and then also have your success under what McDaniels had running, it's a mixture of those two. So I don't think we're going to have a problem, and I think your tight ends also still going to also have the success that they need as well. But it starts with the quarterback and how far your quarterback takes you. That is the only way that offense is going to have the success, is the execution of what players are going to be doing, but really your quarterback. You can't have, and look, mad respect for Aiden O'Connell, that offense ain't going to really go that far with Aiden O'Connell, okay? You probably get 5.5 wins with Aiden O'Connell if he was going in as your starting quarterback. You need a quarterback that can throw it deep, a quarterback that can run, okay? It's going to be a lot of bootlegs and play actions where you roll out, and then it's really your quarterback has that option. So there will also be RPOs in this offense included. So overall, you're going to need a who? Jaden Daniels. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to need a Jaden Daniels for this offense. Tell me, how far can Bo Nix throw?
Got a hose, bro. Didn't you see him down at Oregon, bro? Man, he was the shit. Winging that ball all over the field.
You know what I saw? Hey, you know what I saw? Little hands.
That's because you got a chance to go down to Mobile and see him in person, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did.
How'd he look in Mobile, Phil? Tell him exactly what you saw. Because the TV broadcast didn't do it justice. The YouTube broadcast didn't do it justice.
Me sitting there watching what Bo Nix was throwing makes me want to cry like Chandler Jones,
who recently got right. He got right. Gave out the apology to all the wrong. He was singing Adele.
I'm sorry, bro.
For all the pain.
I saw. Let me tell you something, bro. I saw so many underneath throws. A lot of his. He had some flashes on the first day But when the full pads came on that second day, it was like, where Bo Nix? Wait, it's that guy from Auburn. Had us looking at the damn heavens. Had me looking at the heavens. I was like, where? Where is he at? Where is he at? Because I damn sure didn't see no fucking Bo Nix. Bo Nix out there, I saw underneath. I saw a lot of duds. I saw some interceptions. I saw what's the one thing I'm looking for? Check down Charlie.
Passes.
Check down Charlie.
So you're saying that it was scheme at Oregon that propped him up?
I'm going to tell you what. I had a little talk with Mr. Benny.
Benny Boston.
Yes, me and him had a talk when we were at the media. I say media dinner, media lunch. It's usually breakfast. So anyway,
but did he see you on the field?
Man, we were there. We were there. But anywho, just looking, I was talking to him a few times and said, "Look, bro, Bo Nix was looking all right that Monday, but me looked at Tuesday and then that Wednesday, it was just like it more and more. It's really starting to look like a system from out of Oregon. Now, the only one that's actually had better success from out of that system, and I'm going to say it, I know Phil has his problem with this quarterback. I get it. But Herbert the pervert, he's had better success out of it. He'll go down. He can throw it downfield.
I said, what's he won?
Not a damn thing.
Now, how's he had better success if he ain't won a goddamn thing?
I'm saying with yardage and shit.
Man, if you don't get out of here with this bullshit, I don't care. He led the league in drops too, motherfucker. I don't care about none of that shit. Out here talking about he had the most amount of success. You can go swallow that shit in the bathroom. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Herbert ain't had no success in this league. How many times has he been to the playoffs?
One.
Talking about he had some
one.
Got a stacked team offensively and defensively. He can't get to the plate. Got it one time.
How many times? He needed to pause on that one. No, bro. You went south on that one, bro. You had to pause all the way through, bro.
When you was over here giving Justin Herbert any type of credit, bro, I felt like Darren Smith talking about the Raiders. Said this motherfucker got me fucked up.
One.
It's funny that you hold that up like that, looking like that's one of them abortion rods. But
you gonna get us canceled, goddammit.
I'm on a roll tonight. But
oh, you talking about me? You talking about me? And then you do this shit?
Yeah. That's what it's looking like tonight. Like tonight. But continue. Anyway, Bo Nix not gonna be your guy.
No.
Herbert has been better than anybody else who's come out of Oregon that's not named Dan Fouts. And even he, while making it to the Hall of Fame, was still a loser.
Yo. You just won.
As you continue to bring that up, you're all in there. Just give it a little twist right there and shake everything loose.
this damn nigga, you on your shit tonight.
Talking about the Chargers, bro. The Chargers.
Anywho, look,
fucking Chargers. Anywho, that's right. So I'm just curious to see how this is all. Mr. Hurt His Finger is gonna be able to put up with Jim Harbaugh. These little nicks and cuts and aches and bruises and owies, little band-aids that say ouch on them.
That's why he gonna draft JJ McCarthy.
Please do. First round.
If anybody, I see who he brings in the first round, he gonna get Blake Corum.
I wish. Said that everybody gonna watch that man turn coach so quick. He'd be like, he ain't drafting none of them. Said those were just the guys he could get to Michigan. He gonna show you who he wanted.
Ooh.
I watched Pete Carroll do a lot of that. I thought for sure that what was old boy the safe Taylor Mays, excuse me.
Oh man,
sure he was drafting Taylor Mays. He said nope.
Damn, what happened to Taylor Mays?
Flame out, went to Cincinnati, was terrible. I think he came over, played a year or two for us, and was a special teamer, and got I don't know if he maxed out at USC or got somewhere and had the old Tarzan situation going.
I thought it was Darnell Bing, bro.
No, he was actually the one that was good. Bing and Patrick Chung.
Cause Bing, remember Darnell Bing came to us.
We had Mays for a while too.
Oh yeah, we did. Shit.
Yeah. But the fact that you don't remember it just goes to show you how much of an impact it was.
Yep.
Yes, please. If you've enjoyed the Unfiltered Truth, give us that unfiltered salute. Hit that like button, subscribe. Give us a generous donation. My pockets is empty and this shit costs money. Please help your boy out. I'm not even asking for the ME Foundation. I just said to the show, super chat will be just fine. A couple dollars here, a couple dollars there, and we can help Phil smile for the rest of the weekend. Not you, fool me, but
oh man. This man said, help me smile.
You know what I'm saying? Just open your heart and give generously.
What's the key word? Me.
Me.
Me. You ain't shit.
I haven't been for a long time, and I'm just keep rolling with it.
Look, I was trying to be good, and then now you just bring the demons back. You know that?
Just blaming it on the black man, bro. This is Black History Month, and you just taking me there.
Give a fuck. I said what I said.
Damn, a triple down on you. See the disrespect I got to put up with? This is messed up.
You know what's messed up?
What's that?
Threatening another man's kids for 3 weeks straight and then messaging his family and friends.
Yes, that is messed up. So since we've taken it to that, we've gone there. Let's take it there.
Now you see why we said we did not want Jalen Carter. I don't give two shits if you think the shit is minor. You first off, you got fucking problems because you threaten another man's fucking family and shit, and then grabbing photos of his kids and then putting in your story and shit and say, "Oh, I best be seeing you later. I'll be seeing you." First off, if it's between you and that motherfucker, and keep it between you and him. You got to add the kids or the fucking wife and this shit, bro. You got some sick ass fucking problems. I'm gonna say my fucking piece. This is one of the reasons why the Raiders had red flags on his ass. His maturity level. If this motherfucker was in Vegas, he would have been a hot fucking mess right away. Motherfuckers think, oh yeah, he has his talent, he has his skills and shit. But if you don't have the mental capacity to be an adult, you're not going to be taken. And lo and behold, now you hearing cease and desist. You hearing John Feliciano calling the league on this motherfucker. Now, yes, John Feliciano did say that fucked up shit about his teammate that passed away that he was racing with down the roads in Georgia and shit. But the thing of it was, he apologized on the shit. But the thing of it is this. You don't go after anybody's family, bro. That's fucked up.
Wrong on a lot of levels.
You gonna kill them? You gonna kill him and his family? Now I'm gonna tell you this shit, because I don't think this shit's done. I really don't think it's done. And I'm not over exaggerating or any of that shit. Because if you really think that, then maybe you need to check yourself. Actually, when you're grabbing photos of kids and you're talking about placing harm on them, as well as you, I don't give a fuck if you're a mark. No, I don't give a fuck, bro. I ain't gonna talk about no goddamn kids, bro.
Yeah, you bring
it's the kids, bro.
It's passing up. It's passing up talking about kids. It's going bringing up pictures and doing all types of making threats towards children. But you
now hold on. Now imagine somebody did that shit with your kid. You be mad as shit and be ready to gut the motherfucker.
Shoot them dead.
I can tell you, everybody in this chat on this list right here that's putting the comments down, somebody talked about your kids, you be ready to fuck them up.
End them.
I don't care if you think Feliciano, Mark, whatever. I don't give a fuck, bro. What Jalen Carter did was foul. That's some foul ass shit, bro. And then he was hitting up his family members and friends. Nah, bro. And you can't turn the other cheek on this shit. You just can't. I'm sorry, you can't.
We appreciate you, brother. But you saw the teeth. You saw the teeth.
I'm just like, damn, like this. These motherfuckers, like, they say, yeah, man.
Bro, if you don't put that fucking paper clip down, bro, put that shit down. They gonna talk about me. He's walking around waving that shit, making points and shit.
All right. But
there's a lot wrong with that shit. That is a bona fide psychotic behavior. Threatening, because if you think that threatening kids is okay, is fun to do, not to mention you putting it on, you don't have the wherewithal or capacity to understand that putting it on social media is an admission of premeditated anything that's about to happen should you decide to go out and actually do it. Because you just don't care, because you out here making a funny. That is stupid psychotic behavior.
And again, for the motherfuckers that be saying, oh, he was just talking and he wasn't going to actually do it. Motherfucker, we live in a world today that we never thought this motherfucker would do this shit and that shit that live right down the street. Come find out that motherfucker had 8 bodies under the fucking house.
So we live.
You don't know what a motherfucker gonna do.
We live in a day and an age where somebody says something like this, you thank them for giving you a heads up. That's the day. That's
the thing. The league, when you gotta, if with the reports coming out saying that the league did a cease and desist on the fucking Eagles and him. Nazo, exactly. Look at Aaron Hernandez.
Mm-hmm.
Dre, you're absolutely right.
Said mothers, children, you know, that's not what it is.
But that boy need help. He need to get help fast. In my opinion, does he need to get fined with this shit? Most likely, yeah. And you need to put him in. You need to put him in the program. They not just a program, but they got to do better. The league. I know they have the rookie symposiums and whatnot, but it's almost like, are they doing enough, or are these guys just not giving a fuck? It's one or the other. Now, from what I've gathered, the rookie symposium, these guys are telling you everything. And from what I talked to, even financial advisors, they say there's so much talked about in these rookie symposiums. So I know that they're not bullshitting and just saying oh yeah, you guys just run around and just do whatever, or oh yeah, this happened, that happened, no. Because they even discuss about this shit even with Ruggs. So it's these motherfuckers coming in and letting it go out the other ear. Some of these motherfuckers gotta take this shit serious, bro.
Yeah, we are getting way too comfortable threatening families on social media. It's just too much of that shit going on. Getting way too comfortable with threatening people on social media, period. Like this shit, I don't wake up every morning and choose violence for no reason. I just don't do it. You need some Jesus in your life, need some happiness in your life. Love one another. Do we feel like we dodged a bullet with this altercation? There's others. If you look at it, that's he's a habitual offender. Now, I don't know what he goes around saying. I'm not getting ready to sit here and try to make it sound like I do. I've seen him fight other teams pre-game, go walk over there and talk himself into a brawl. That's happened multiple times. This is not the first time there's been some shit like this. I mean, defensive linemen are like that. Defenders are like that.
So was Tyree the right pick? So far, it looks like yes, he was the right pick, because I'm gonna tell you this shit. If you let this motherfucker run around and continue to do what the fuck he wants to do, it's gonna show. It's gonna come back and haunt the fucking Eagles. I don't wish it to happen. I hope he gets his act together. I don't want no young man falling or failing and, having their life messed up and shit. I want him to get his help. Get it now. Get your act together. And with all the leaders and shit that you have on that Eagles defense and shit, you need to be getting on this motherfucker. If he ain't listening, well, as the saying goes, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it.
Nope. Said, and a fool and his money will soon be parted.
So there's that. I wanted to just get that off my chest for that shit. And it's good to know that Steve Wilkes is a part of that little law, having that lawsuit against the league. That's good to know. And then Damn, it's one thing I know I'm really missing it right now. I'm trying to figure it out. Went over Getsy. I probably do a little bit more research on Getsy. Look at a couple of his film. Mock Draft 1.0 will be ready over the weekend or maybe next week.
The official mock draft will be ready prior to the combine.
No, 1.0 will be ready. And then we go on to 2.
Will be prior to the combine. No, it starts on the 20th, 26th, right?
Yeah, so it'll be before the combine.
Yeah.
We'll have it before the combine. I think what we're gonna do, me and you will, whatever we end up with, we'll combine. We'll basically combine our two together. What's the best player or for each round, or because most likely we're gonna end up probably simulating with it having a trade.
Yeah. No, for sure. Now, we'll answer this for you, Nazo, before we get out of there. What do I think about J.J. McCarthy? He's not the quarterback for me or my franchise, bruh.
Nah.
That's not the dude. I really, really honest and truthfully think he was propped up by having the best possible situation that he could be in Michigan, and I would be curious to see what he would be capable of in a completely different environment without every advantage that's offered by Michigan. You think Drake May will be the first pick in the draft? Good for him. I hope he is. I hope he's.
Hold on, he said a key word there. No quarterback has thrown 4 or over 4,000 yards in Chicago. That's scary.
Never happened before. So peep game.
And before I forget, team president from Chicago. They talking like they keeping Fields.
Have been for a while now.
And talking like, I don't know, you could be just getting a wide receiver.
Big name.
And then also getting another lineman. So we'll see how that goes. Because shit, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to enter into lying season. Okay.
Oh, we're in it now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We're in the thick of it. So, like I said, I wrote in my most recent article. The combine is in a week and a half.
Yeah.
Free agency starts in a month. And the draft is in 2.5 months. There is a lot of time to fill that needs to be filled with content, and nobody is under any obligation whatsoever to tell the press anything. Nobody. Anything that you hear is pure speculation, and it's gonna go down as the gospel because there's nobody to correct it. If you went out and said the Raiders were going to change their colors to purple and sparkles, you would have every bit as equal opportunity to be right about it as Ian Rappaport coming out and saying it. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows. We all know the Raiders ain't changing their colors, but you heard it, so it's going to happen.
You got anything else to add on, Robinson?
Nope.
Me neither. Let's wrap this shit up. I'm tired.
He's Jones. I'm Robinson. This is Unfiltered Truth. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, please give us an unfiltered salute. Hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend. Please donate generously to the ME Foundation. Like I said, all you got to do is just see Phil smile. Just keep dropping money in the super chats. Until then, we are out. God bless you. Thank you. Until the next time.
This is one word, two syllables. Ridiculous, right?